Air Gear is without question one of the craziest manga I have ever read. Air Gear by Oh Great is a phenomenal mishmash of many genres drawn with unbelievably beautiful and detailed art. I've seen tons of panels from this series and decided to read it last year, and have loved every moment. It's such a breath of fresh air that is like nothing I've ever read before. I mean, just look at these tags. It would look like a series that has no identity or clear genre. But after reading it, you will understand how much care the author put into crafting this enigma of a story. Oh Great is a fascinating author. Some of his other notable works are Bakemonogatari and Tenjo Tenge. In this video, I will give a breakdown of the story, then I will talk about some of the wacky and amazing things that happen in this series, then I will go over some of the amazing art as well. I have also noticed that whenever I post Air Gear content on my socials, they always get a lot of likes and comments, which has surprised me because I was unaware of just how popular this series was, and to be honest, they are just so cool to look at. My socials are in the caption if you want to follow me. Now, there will be spoilers ahead for the story of Air Gear, so if you want to avoid those and read this amazing story for yourself, you should click off the video now, but if you don't mind spoilers or have already read Air Gear, then enjoy the video. Now, I think I'll talk about the story a bit different than usual. If you have seen any of my previous videos, at this part I usually give a rundown of the first chapter and then outline the basic trajectory of the story, but today I think I will talk about the main character and how he fits into the story and the world of air treks. Our main character, Itsuki Minami, who goes by Iki, is a rowdy middle school student who falls in love with the world of air treks, which are high-powered rollerblades. After getting beaten by our air trek group, he gets his own pair and begins to learn. Now in the world of air treks, there are groups, and the members are known as Storm Riders. As the story goes on, Iki creates his own air trek team, known as Kogara Sumaru, and is a group compiled of his friends. Air trek teams compete in part wars, which are a competition between two groups, and the winners can gain parts for their air treks, take over the other's territory, or gain money. But each battle changes depending on the ranking of each group. In the beginning, it's simple, with E-class battles being known as hurdles, and we see Iki race his future teammate in this format, as the hurdles are the school buildings that they attend. Later, these become crazy, like with the A-class balloon battles, which is a contest where each team races to catch a balloon that travels through the air. But at this point in the story, when all the Storm Riders are of a higher level, is when the true charm of the story begins, but I'll be talking about that in the later parts. Iki and his crew rise through the air trek world and meet all sorts of fascinating groups and characters. All of this builds towards the Gram Scale tournament, where Storm Riders from around the world compete to become the greatest in the world. This tournament is foreshadowed early in the manga because it takes place at the Tower of Trophium, which is referenced throughout the story and is where all 8 roads connected. The 8 roads are referencing the 8 best riders who have a regalia, which is a special pair of air treks that represent something such as the Thorn Regalia or the Flame Regalia, but I will talk more about them in the next part. Iki is an enjoyable main character to follow through the story, as he's extremely cocky and arrogant, but never backs down regardless of the odds, and has amazing moments throughout the series. He is a really fun character to follow and fits the vibe of the story so well. The whole cast in general is amazing, and there is a lot of characters in the series. It's honestly hard to follow it sometimes. I actually don't want to spend too much time talking about the story honestly, because it's pretty confusing, but also because I don't want to dive too deep into some of the twists and incredible moments. What I'm really excited to talk about is the insane moments in the series and the art, which I will be doing now. So if you don't want those spoiled, click off now, but if not, let's continue. Despite how the series looks, it takes itself quite seriously and has genuine stakes, like people are horrifically injured in battles and can even lose their lives. Now, for the first crazy events I'll be talking about, it will be when they battle while riding across fighter jets. In the first round of the Gram Scale tournament, Kogara Sumaru is facing the previous winners of the tournament, Sleipnir. The battle works as a 5 vs 5 format. 10 planes take off and the last man standing is the winner and their team will advance. The goal is to knock the others off their planes, which is so fun to watch and was one of my favourite battles to watch in the series. Also, each plane has a random amount of fuel and will descend at random, adding an unknown timer to the battle. In this battle, you get a display of so many characters' abilities that clash during their fights. The battle starts with Kazu, Iki's best friend, who is also the Flame Keeper, propelling Iki towards the enemy leader's plane using flames. Kazu is then attacked by another enemy Storm Rider who can manipulate the wind to conjure up terrifying creatures, and this is only the beginning of this battle, and I don't want to spoil how it ends. And yes, this is still a sports manga. This battle is an amazing read with gorgeous art and one of the best designed characters in the series, but is by no means the craziest thing to happen in this story. Next, how about when Iki forgot to register for the Gram Scale tournament, so Kogara Sumaru had to win their place in the tournament by using a VR machine to verse the old Sleeping Forest in their prime. Sleeping Forest was the most renowned team in the world and held all 8 regalia. A lot of their members are still important figures in the story of Air Gear, so this encounter was cool to see all the members together. Now, they battle on a floating castle that has dragons flying around it, all to catch a balloon while they battle to the death using all sorts of insane abilities, like Iki being able to manipulate the air or Kazu stopping time. I won't spoil the other characters' abilities as this is an awesome arc to read for yourself, but I promise I'm not showing you the best in this series. Oh, did I also mention that Barack Obama is watching this battle and becomes somewhat of an important character in this story? These are just a couple of the insane things that happen throughout this series. There are dozens more just as, if not even crazier than this. Like, I'm not even going to try and dive into the Gravity Children, who are characters in the series who were created by the creators of Air Treks and raised in zero gravity. These individuals have special eyes and are incredibly good at Air Treks. But yeah, that's just another random element to this story. Now the art, and as I'm sure you've noticed while watching this video, the art is absolutely incredible. O-Great's range is crazy. I have never read a series where the author can draw such a wide variety of subjects and genres so incredibly well. Whether it's character design, clothing, fights, sci-fi technology, or powers, he can seriously do it all, and I'll be talking about the incredible examples of this. Movement. It's so important to Air Gear as it's the nucleus of every event in the series, and god, the movement is so cool, whether it's Iki riding with his jacket flowing as he kicks up water, or Rika flying through the air with her kimono flowing behind her. Movement is portrayed so well and it's easy to follow as the characters trick through the air and run with the wind. The movement is always conveyed flawlessly. Character design is also amazing. Every character has unique and striking designs, but it never overpowers the scene with too much flashiness. It fits perfectly with the story and overall vibe of Air Gear. The fashion is always cool to look at, with a lot of amazing streetwear shown throughout the series. The author's love of fashion is never more apparent than in the volume covers that always have the characters dressed in stylish clothes that fit the series amazingly. The fight scenes in this series are unbelievably good. There's so much destruction later in the series with tons of chaos from each blow. The author also draws interesting imagery with the powers. They kinda remind me of stands from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Most important characters have things like this, like Agito, who conjures up the image of a shark with his attacks, or Rika with thorns. There's so many examples of these and they all look amazing and suit the characters' powers. O-Great draws a lot of sci-fi technology in this series and the detail is incredible. Whether it's the tuners being hooked up to all kinds of futuristic tech to build air treks, or the different cyborgs in the story, they are all drawn with such care and intricacy that they really are enjoyable to look at. The different regalia also have cool designs and definitely help in adding to the cool factor for the owners of these powerful air treks. Just to finish up on the art, the facial expressions are so good and perfectly convey the emotions of the characters in the scene, often not even needing dialogue to show the impact something is having on someone. After reading Air Gear, I have to put O-Great in my top 10 manga artists of all time, and I'm still surprised I haven't heard more about their works, as at least for Air Gear, this series was such a joy to read. Air Gear is a fun and exciting series that I think everyone should try, at least just to see the amazing art on display. I can understand people's gripes with the story, as it is quite strange and confusing at times, but overall you can tell a lot of heart has been put into it. I would definitely be trying some of O-Great's other works in the future. Well, that's it from me. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!